Right. How y'all is this morning? I'm moving around pretty slow. It's pretty early around here. I'm trying not to wake everybody up. Well, got to deal with had some issues with the doggone chickens, so I got to deal with that today. I'm not looking forward to it. They got a case of this bumblefoot. I never had a problem with it before, but we always had free range chickens when I was coming up. And they just run in the yard. Is, I guess, less likely to obviously happen. Apparently what it is a type of staph infection. It gets in their feet. We got them in a pen now. I mean, it's a fairly good sized pen for the number of chickens we got. But still, they walking, they crap all over the place in there, and it gets in the dirt, and they walk on it, and then what happens is if they cut their foot or scratch their foot on anything, they gets an infection in it, and it's bad. I'm a little squeamish about that kind of infection stuff. It's nasty, And I tried yesterday, the one that had it the worst. I tried to, it'll have a scab on the bottom. I've done some research on it. It'll have a scab on the bottom of the foot, and you can pull that off, and you can try to get that infection out of there, and you put some antibiotic on it or whatever. And wrap it up, keep a bandage clean every few days or so, change it, and it's supposed to be able to get it to heal up. Well, this one chicken had it pretty bad. It had done swole its whole foot up before I noticed it had got like that. I don't know how I didn't notice it, but hadn't been paying close enough attention, I reckon. And I tried to clean it out, but man, you couldn't. That big foot, both feet had it, but one foot was pretty easy to get it cleaned out, but the other foot that was swole up so bad, it was gross, man. I messed with it and squoze on it and tried to get all that stuff out, and it was just swole up so bad. I mean, there just wasn't no chance that stuff wasn't gonna get in the bone and infect the whole, kill the chicken anyway. So I just went ahead and killed it. I hated to, but I just went ahead and killed it, and I was gonna eat it. In fact, I told girlfriend, call old Justin Peden over there. He'll know. Because he's always fooling with everything. He's about the local expert when it comes to all this kind of stuff. He's got a YouTube channel, so if you want to learn more about all that kind of, farming and homestead and hunting, fishing, survival type stuff. And he's a preacher, so if you need to get some preaching in, you can listen to that too. You can go over to his channel called Spirit of the Outdoors. He's been real helpful with me. We grew up together. We was in the same class in school till I failed. And I got in a different class down somewhere up there around 7th or 8th grade. I can't remember. I believe it was 7th grade. You know, about the age when a lot of things start coming a lot more interesting in school. But anyhow, I got that one chicken took care of. We didn't eat it. I mean, after seeing that foot, it was just gross. I couldn't really get past it. I just went ahead and threw it in a burn pile and burned it. I hated to do that. But, you know, I mean, it's part of the deal. I'd rather killed it than let it sit there and infection get worse and die slowly and painfully. So I wish I hadn't even dug around in its foot after I looked at it and wound up killing it. I wish I'd have just went ahead and killed it. But, you know, I'm sorry, chicken. I hate I had to put you through all that. Part of the deal, you know. Anyway, you got to do these. Now here's brings me to the part I hate. Upon further inspection, I realized that there's at least 2 more chickens out there that's got it. So I got to deal with it today again. And they ain't as bad, so maybe it'll be pretty easy. You know, you just tear that scab off, try to get that infection out, and you put whatever kind of treatment on it you're gonna put. Justin said put some of that plantain, that wild plantain on there. He swears by that stuff, so I might try some of that. Make it into a poultice. Wrap it up in there. It's got to draw stuff out good, apparently. Whatever you call that factor. It's got the drawing factor. Anyhow, I guess what I got to do today. So I got to do at least 2, maybe 3 chickens. I'm going to have to look at all of them. Make sure, because I ain't even thought about them getting that until I noticed that one. Well, I didn't even notice it. My girlfriend, Nikki, she's seen it. I got to start looking closer for that kind of stuff. Anyway, that's the way it goes when you get chickens and animals and stuff like that. You know, you got to deal with stuff like that. If you can't handle it, don't get them. The easiest thing to do is just kill them when they get like that. I mean, but you know, you don't want to always kill everything. I mean, they are laying eggs, and you get a lot more eggs than you get than just eating one chicken. And then, like I said, I was squeamish about eating that, and I was going to do it, but I mean, the fact of the matter is, just like we was talking to him, you cook it hot enough, that stuff ain't going to survive. You know, it'll kill it. You just got to cook the crap out of it. It'd be a good time to make a big stew if I have to kill them and the weather's cooling off. I wish I had me a big old cauldron, I guess you'd call it. Big steel cast iron pot. My uncle used to, they'd have that arena over there, Janie and Douglas, Lovern, and they'd have his trail ride once a year. My uncle Harold Willis, he would get out there and cook that stew. Now he was the one that had to cook the stew, by God. You know, I mean, wasn't nobody else around allowed to touch it. Now he done a daggone good job. It was some of the best around. And I'll tell you who else, my ex-wife's daddy, Tommy Macmillan over there. Man, he could cook a good one like that. And I'll tell you who else. Me. I got pretty good at this chicken stew stuff. Squirrel stew and all that kind of stuff, man. I had to learn how to cook for myself. That's one thing about it. Now I got lucky, and I got a girlfriend that likes to cook. Thank God. Because I think a woman that can't cook is about as useless as tits on a borehole. Now, I might get labeled a misogynist for saying that. And maybe I am a misogynist. I don't know what you want to call it. It's just, if you want your old man to get out there and do all these doggone chores and shit, pardon my French, every time I try to speak that language, it comes out sounding like a cuss word. And I'm trying to get better about that. So I know it offends some people. Especially y'all French people out there. Anyhow, I digress, as usual. If you want your old man to get out there and do all these chores out in the yard and stuff, and you gonna lay there on that couch and stare at your cellular phone all day, I got news for you. That ain't gonna last long. I've heard some of my friends talk about their old lady won't do nothing. They won't clean up. They won't cook nothing. I just soon live by myself. Because living with anybody is good, but at times you're going to get on each other's nerves anyway. And that's anybody. It don't matter how well you get along. Sooner or later, when you live in the same house, I don't care how much you love each other and all that, you're going to get on each other's nerves from time to time. Maybe some of y'all out there ain't like it. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. But put it this way, from my experience, anybody that I live with all the time, every day, sooner or later gets on my nerves. Maybe y'all are different. Maybe I'm just a butthole. I know I'm a butthole. I'll just go and say that and get that out of the way. I know I'm a butthole, so y'all might not be. Anyhow, I digress my digression once again. When I was talking about that stew, man, Harold could cook that stew. It was good. He'd sit out there with a boat paddle, that big old pot. Well, I was living up there in Nashville. My mom used to make a darn good chicken stew. I got to wanting some of that. And they wasn't nowhere selling it. They go on about that hot chicken, Nashville hot chicken, everywhere you go. Like they come up with it or something. They laid claim to hot chicken, to taking some cayenne pepper and throwing it on some daggone fried chicken. They laid claim to that. Well, I'll tell you what, man. I guarantee you that Nashville didn't come up with that. And who they claim done it, the story goes, I believe it's Prince's. Yeah, Prince's. It was this old black gentleman. And he and his old lady got into a round. And she decided she was going to kill him. So they had a chicken cooking place. They cooked chicken, apparently, and sold it, I believe is how it went. They had I don't know if it just sold it out of the house or if they had a little old store or something, but it was back in the old days. Anyhow, so she got mad at him, and she was going to polish him off, so to speak. So she figured she'd kill him via hot chicken. So that's what she tried to do. She attempted to make the chicken so hot because he loved chicken. That's the way the story went. He loved chicken. She was going to make it so hot that it would kill him. Give him a heart attack or die of acid reflux or something. Anyhow, she made this chicken fixed him a platter, took it in there to him, and he ate it, and he thought it was the best doggone chicken he'd ever had. So then they started selling the mess, and apparently that's where Nashville hot chicken comes from. This guy named Prince's, and it's still open up there today. Now, I've got to be honest with y'all. As bad as I hate to say it, I never did go over to Prince's and try their chicken. So I can't say where it's good or where it's bad. But I did eat that Hattie B's stuff, and I got to be honest with you, I didn't think it was all it was cracked up to be at all. I waited in line for at least 45 minutes, lined up around the corner to get some of that Hattie B's, Nashville hot chicken. Okay, we go, one of my buddies wanted to go. So we went in there, and I ordered the medium hot. They said, don't get the real hot kind. It's too hot, you can't even stand it. So I ordered the medium. And I got over there to the table, and I opened it up. And it was just greasy as all get out, for one thing. I mean, it's fried chicken. It's, grease is kind of par for the course. I can handle a little bit of grease. So far, I haven't had to have a stint put in or nothing. Don't mean I won't have to tomorrow, but liable to today after filling with all these chickens. But anyhow, I got over there and opened that chicken up. Man, I took a bite. It wasn't bad, but I didn't see nothing so doggone special about it. Well, they was making such a big deal. Yeah, it was spicy, and that's about it. It just tasted spicy and pretty run-of-the-mill, in my opinion. Now, I'll tell you, if you're in Nashville, Tennessee, and you want to eat somewhere, I lived there about a decade, so I eat about near all the main places, except Prince's. And Brown's Diner. I can't believe I never eat there. It's a small place, but it's famous for its hamburgers. They say it's the best burger in town. So if you ought to give it a try if you're up there in Nashville, if it's even still open. Brown's Diner. All the locals go on about that place. But anyhow, my favorite place to eat, if I have the money. And it ain't that expensive, but if you're eating out all the time, it get pretty pricey. And things has went up since I lived there. I lived there right when Corona hits, when I moved back down here. And as high as things has got down here, I know it's high up there. The eating out has just had to come to cease and desist around this place. I mean, it ain't good for you no way, most of the time. But anyhow, my favorite place to eat out in Nashville is Jack Cawthorn's. And I'll tell you another place in a minute. But Jack's, man, it's barbecue. And it is fine. And they got two of them. They may have a third. Yeah, they got three of them, I believe. There's one of them right there downtown on Broad. And I ate it and it was good. And then there's one, but it's crowded, of course, I don't like going to one on Broadway. And then there's one out there, what's the name of that road? I can't remember the name of it. It's between Bordeaux and coming back across there. And the main highway. I can't remember the name of the road at the moment, but you can Google it, Jack Cawthorn's, spelled with a K, Cawthorn. But anyhow, you go in there. Now that's a good one. It's the one out there close to Bordeaux is not so packed full, It's a lot more comfortable going there and eat, sit down and eat. And then there's the one over there on Charlotte. I used to go to it a lot. I rented and lived in boarding houses and I lived in my vehicle. And when I lived in my vehicle, I used to stay up close to Centennial Park. I had a big Chevy G20 van. I lived in it for a year and a half. You know, enjoyed the crap out of it. One of my favorite places to live in when I lived in Nashville was in my van. I had a great time living in it. I got me a storage unit right there on Charlotte. And I belonged to Planet Fitness on Charlotte, which was right down the road. Everything was within a 3-mile radius where I lived. And everything, the post office was right there. I rode my bicycle about near everywhere. I worked downtown playing music. Played at Nashville Underground for old Joey DeGraw for many years. And started off just playing street music and had a blast. That's where I met a lot of great friends. That's where I met Abby before she became the famous Spoon Lady, and Jimbo Lockhart, James Lockhart, and old Nate, Nathaniel Black, and Kelly Fox, and Doug Seeger was down there. Of course, Sierra was down there. That's everybody down there. You can't forget Shayla. She was down there with the washboard. And what's that? Old Robin. He was down there, Robin Menard. And all them guys. You know, that's where I met all them people down there on Broadway. We was all street musicians. Doug Seegers, he's become a famous musician now. That's like Sierra, she's become a big star. We was all street musicians down there. Most of us lived in our vehicles, you know, and had a great time. This is one of the funnest times of my life, playing street music in Nashville. Till the cops got to bothering everybody. But again, I digress. I always do. So, I was talking about eating. Jack Cawthorn's is my #1 favorite place. I highly recommend it. And I personally like buffets, as you can see. And I like Chinese buffets. And there's one on Nolensville Road called the Hibachi Grill. And it is my #1 favorite Chinese restaurant. They got everything in there. You know, they do the hibachi thing in the back where they grill steaks. Man, them things is good. They cook them right there. They delicious. I can eat a plate full of just them. Little old thin steaks, but man, they tender, they good. And then they got everything. They got, if you want fried chicken, they got it. Forget about all that Hattie B's crap waiting for 30 minutes in line. You can go in that damn, pardon my French, you can go in that hibachi, man, sit right down, eat all you want. Me and Ed White used to go in there and sit for 2 or 3 hours, just taking it easy, chit-chatting, and kind of perusing the buffet. We'd eat a little bit of everything. I mean, they have pizza, they have roast, they have fish, they have the Chinese stuff, they have all kind of stuff. I probably eat there more than anywhere. When I was living in my vehicle, that Chinese buffet was kind of my main place to eat. I mean, I fixed some food. I cooked some food on a little grill thing out there at the park. It was a hassle because it's a pain in the butt to clean your bowls and stuff and your skillet and all that. So it's most convenient to eat out in that Chinese place. I could go during the daytime. You know, it's usually a cheaper rate during the day. It'd be like $8. I mean, all you can eat. You can get all your vegetables and all your nutrition that you need. And what I did a lot then was alternate between eating there and eating at Jason's Deli and getting that salad bar, all you can eat salad bar. I'd eat that one day, and the other day I'd eat at a Chinese place. And then I'd like skip a day or something like that and just snack around and go up to Kroger and get them rotisserie chickens and stuff like that for like $6. And there was another little old store now. It was on God, I have a hard time remembering the name of these roads. Rosa Parks runs into it. Clarksville Highway. Because I used to live out that way in Bordeaux. And anyhow, Clarksville Highway, going out in that direction, there's a little old gas station. Now, I don't know the best way to tell a person to get to it, to be honest with you. If you're coming out from town, you get out there. I don't even know the name of the gas station. It's really hard to describe how to get to. There's a DMV out there. If you turn to go to the DMV, it's the gas station right there on the corner where you turn to go to the DMV on the right. And it's run by Arabian folks. And they sell chicken in there. And it's the best deal. It is the biggest chicken legs. They almost look like turkey legs. And you can get them spicy. And man, they good. I used to eat that all the time. And it was only like $5 for, man, you get, I don't know, they like $1 a piece or something. It was real cheap. I remember you get and it'd be a pile, man. By the time you eat it, you was stuffed. And I'd get them chicken legs a lot of times. Just all kind of stuff. Heck, I'd go down there and eat at the mission. I wasn't too proud to do that. I'd done it plenty of times. Go down there and eat at the mission with all the folks staying down there. And they got good food. And the room in the inn's got good food. You know, all that stuff that feeds homeless people. They got this thing they set up at this bridge. This church sets up. I can't remember the name of the church. But down there at the bridge, go down there. It's like, I can't remember exactly when anymore. And all that might have changed by now. But it's like once every 2 weeks or something like that. Or once a week. They have a big feeding down there. You can go down there and get free food or whatever. There's all kind of ways to make it there. That town is set up for it. That's why there's so many homeless people there, because it's just easy to do. I mean, they do breakfast every morning up to, I can't remember, Methodist Church, whatever. I never really go up there much. Breakfast food, I'm weird about it. I eat it here sometimes, a good bit really, but I get kind of burnt out on it pretty quick too. I don't think it's, let's face it, most of it ain't that healthy either. I mean, we like our chickens, but I don't know if you need to be eating fried eggs every single day of your life. I don't know. It probably wouldn't ever hurt you. Who knows? Who knows anymore? It seems like everything's bad for you. I just about rather eat stuff that I raised myself than I had eat anything from a store, though. I believe. At least I know what it is, because these days they getting weird with this stuff, man, talking about this lab-made meat. And I mean, let's face it, guys. Do what you will. Trust who you want to. Everybody's got their own journey, you know. Me personally, I don't just give people my trust. I mean, I've been burnt too many times. Call me a cynic, you know, but I just do not hand that stuff out. You know, it's something that if somebody wants me to trust them, I mean, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt, but I won't give you no chance to screw me over. You know, I won't even put you in that position. You know, I'll take care of all the important stuff. And if it comes to something that somebody's got a chance to screw me over, I won't even put them in that position to give them that opportunity till I get to know somebody, and then I'll know if I can trust them or not. And that's something that you have to earn, you know, and it don't mean you gotta all do all this big stuff, try to earn trust from me. No, you can just tell. When you're around somebody for a while, you can tell what kind of person they are. They'll prove it. They'll show what kind of person they are. You can tell by the way they do about other people and stuff. And just the way they are about paying stuff and, you know, and not stealing or screwing. Just in general, you can tell. I'm a pretty good judge of character, and I think most folks are for the most part. You can tell what kind of person somebody is. In this day and time, man, everybody's so wrapped up in this pursuit of money, you know, till it's hard to find anybody you can trust these days. But you know, I don't even know what the heck I was talking about. I get off on these tangents so bad. Yeah, well, I've been babbling long enough, so you know me. It's easy to get going. I get to ranting about stuff too. I was talking about eating. I was talking about eating your own food and not trusting what you get up at the store. I mean, that's just them guys trying to make money. They don't give a crap. They don't give a crap if that food's good for you or bad for you. I mean, that's proven. I don't have to wonder about that. You can just walk in the daggone store and walk around and look, see what they're selling. 90% of it is complete garbage that don't do nothing but make you fatter and fatter and clog up your arteries, give you diabetes, and then you laid up sick. Them daggone food companies do not give two craps about whether you get heart disease or diabetes or ever what else problems it all causes, because it ain't nothing really when it boils down to it. The main products that they're selling is trans fats, you know, flour and a bunch of sugar mixed in and a bunch of salt, you know, to give it flavor. Salt, sugar, flour, and lard, you know, basically. I mean, it's bad news. It ain't no good. It stops your heart up, you know. You gotta do it in moderation with all this lard and grease and cooking and all. I mean, so many people have heart trouble. And, you know, I'm a candidate for it. My mom had it, just got it. You know, she's got heart trouble. She's had a daggone aortic valve replacement, and she was in bad shape. That's when I moved down here and started looking after her when she had that heart attack. And I realized she wasn't in no condition to be handling none of this stuff around here. And she was trying to take care of my dad, who had gotten in a lot worse shape than I realized. And he was steadily going downhill. She was trying to look after him, and she wasn't able to be looking after herself. So that all opened my eyes a lot when I seen the trouble that, you know, how bad it is when you get heart problems and all. You're better off to lay off of the grease as well as we all like it. Don't eat so much greasy stuff. You know, eat your veggies, as they always said. Lay off of all that sweet stuff. My God, it's like one of Mama's problems now. Diabetes. We have to watch everything. Give her this shot and all this. Pay attention to what she's eating. If it's high carb or got any, you don't even fix nothing for her with sugar. But if it's got carbs, good many carbs in it, give her that shot and all that, you know. So it ain't no fun whenever you get all these problems. You have to pay for everything you do in the long run. You know, I've had my bout with alcoholism, and that's what I'm in trouble for now, is with this alleged, I don't want to get into it too much, but I got in trouble with a drinking incident, and I still got to go to court over it, so I quit drinking. And I'll make another video about all that, because I've already pretty knee deep into this one. I need to be winding it down. But let's just say, if, for a person like me, drinking is a no go. I just can't afford to do it. I have a gluttonous approach. When I'm not a social drinker. I'm not saying everybody in the world can't drink, or that you'll go to hell for drinking or none of that. I don't know nothing about whether it's a sin or whether it ain't a sin to drink alcohol. Uh, that's up to your own personal belief, and I try to stay off all that topic on this channel because I'm no theologist. But anyway, uh, bottom line is this. I found out through personal experience that I can't handle my booze. I'm allergic to alcohol. When I drink it, I break out in handcuffs. 9 times out of 10, I mean, not really 9 times out of 10, but eventually, once I start drinking, a switch flips. It's like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, man. If somebody makes me mad, and it don't take a lot when I'm drinking. Heck, it don't take a lot when I'm sober, but I know to keep my mouth shut and keep it to myself. But when I get half lit, I'll fly off a handle, and then I get in trouble. And it's happened. I've repeated that, and it's happened to me more than once. And trouble gets started on account, and then me being drunk. Yeah, I ain't saying what the other fellow does is right or wrong, but that don't matter. What it matters is whenever I react to them, that's what gets me in trouble. My reaction. It don't matter if they a butthole all day long. They can be a smart aleck. They can run that mouth, and they won't nothing happen. But the second I fly off a handle, I'm the one that the handcuffs will be on. And I don't want to fool with that mess. And I still, like I said, I got in some mess recently, and I quit drinking. I hadn't had a drop of alcohol for about 3.5 months now. I feel a lot better. I should have never picked it back up. I had been sober for 9 years. I had been drinking before, and it was causing problems. I could notice I had a problem with it. I was drinking too much, drinking too often, and too much when I done it. So I quit then, and I stayed sober for 9 years. No drugs, no alcohol, no mind-altering substances whatsoever, aside from nicotine and coffee. And nicotine was another beast. But anyhow, I relapsed on the drinking about a year and a half ago. I blame it on a lot of things. Corona happened. The way I got sober, and I'm not advocating because it's not a thing you're supposed to solicit, but I started going to 12-step meetings, and that worked for me. They made a lot of sense. It taught me how to get in touch with a higher power of my understanding. Anyway, long story short, I quit going to them during all that Corona stuff. I was living in Nashville, and it's got one of the biggest recovery communities in the whole United States. It's great. I mean, they can go to meetings any time of day. And 202 Friendship House is my favorite place. It's the coolest place they is, man. And anyway, I'm going to make a video about Alcoholics Anonymous in my life and what it means to me and all that kind of stuff. I need to make more videos about that because it's been a big part of my life. And it just works for me. One reason I think AA works so good is because don't nobody get paid. And that weeds out a lot of BS right there. When people start getting paid to do stuff, people's motives start getting a little iffy a lot of times, if you know what I mean. And I think you do. as Joe Bob would say. But anyhow, yeah, drinking don't work out for me, so I gave it up again. I stayed sober for 9 years, relapsed. Like I said, Dad passed away when I come down here and started taking care of him. I'm glad I got to spend his last days with him. I was there right with him the day he died, And the man didn't complain one bit, I asked him, did he need anything? He said no, He didn't whine and complain. I look up to him even in his last breaths. He was an admirable human being. I love my dad. He was like my best friend, But anyhow, it was a sad thing, but we all got to deal with it one day. So I was glad I got to be here with him when he passed away. But anyhow, I got depressed with all that happening. And sitting around with the corona, I was scared to go anywhere. I was scared I'd get it and give it to Mom and he'd kill her, having a compromised immune system. I was trying to look after her. And next thing you know, I fooled around and relapsed on alcohol. I was sitting there thinking, well, surely I could handle a beer or two in the afternoon, Surely I could handle that. So I started to pick it back up. Next thing you know, I was drinking the whole case, of course. Of course. And it's just a long story, and I've already talked for a long time, but it took me about a year of that and then I got in some legal trouble from getting drunk. So now I got to deal with that, and it made my life unmanageable like it always does. I'm powerless over alcohol. When I drink one beer or one shot of whiskey, this thing comes over me. It's known as the phenomenon of craving. And I don't want just one. I don't want just two. I don't want just three. I don't want just four. I just keep going. It flips a switch. I cannot control my drinking. I might control it this time. I might control it next time. But it won't be long before I'm just guzzling it like crazy. It's just what I do when I start drinking. I'm a natural born alcoholic. I cannot drink. It's either complete abstinence, I'm all or nothing. Either I drink to oblivion or I ain't gonna drink at all. There ain't no in between. So it's best for me not to drink at all, and I give it up again. Like I say, I hope I stay sober the rest of my life. And I believe I will with the help of a higher power, Anyway, I'll keep doing the AA deal. Try to share it with another alcoholic that suffered. So any of y'all friends out there that's having trouble with alcohol, you can keep that in mind. If you need to talk to somebody about it, you're trying to recover from the mess, you feel free to talk to me anytime. Anyhow, I've talked plenty long today, so I'm going to get the heck off here. This is a long video. It'll take it all day to load out here. Y'all have a good day. See you next time.